Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtatara Shri Srimad Bhai Charna Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtatara Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नमाचार्य सुलभदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री भक्तवृंद की जय जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय अलाचवानी रमणीत धाम की जय भगवद गीता पाठ करी श्रोता करी भक्त बिंद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayed Nashtaprayesu Bhadresu Nitam Bhagavato Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastaki Mukhaṁ karati vācālam pangulangayate girim Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Isharam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnaya Bhutale Sumate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschat Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataruvesha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavane Vaishnavepano Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chai Tanna namne gauratishe namo. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindaye Tulasi Devaye Priyaye Keshavascha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Sattavate Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and mothers. Welcome to this beautiful session of Bhagavad Gita. So for 3 weeks, we could not serve this part because we had a Bhakti Shastri in another town. Prahladananda Prabhu was there. Nice to see you, Prahladananda Prabhu. He was there. Some devotees were there.
Hare Bol Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mother. Shivani Devi, Dandavat Pranam. Nice to see you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Mother Sundari Revati Devi Dasi. Subal Gopal Prabhu, nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nayan Prabhu, very nice. So I'll refresh 9th chapter, how far we went, so we can catch up. We are beginning today, text 23, but let us refresh. Hopefully you all remember. First of all, this chapter began with how important is faith. As you know, Bhagavad Gita spoken in a many level, but at least I found the whole Bhagavad Gita is a conversation at 3 levels. One level that it is a conversation was successful in its fruit. Successful in a sense, Lord Krishna spoke to Arjuna at one level, and what Krishna wanted, even though it is a free choice, we have a free choice, but as a loving father, as a loving God, he has also intention. We say Krishna does not forces us, but still, as a loving father, he has his affection, he has his expectation. So at one level, it was successful. We see 1873, first chapter, 46 verse, last verse, where Arjuna says, I'm not going to fight. I can't. He put his Gandiva down. But then at the end of Bhagavad Gita, 1873, we see that conversation between Krishna and Arjuna succeed in persuading Arjuna, and Arjuna says, I will do what you want me to do. And of course, he was expressing gratitude. He was very much regret that his illusion has now gone, but he's due to the illusion. I hope we can feel that same mood and submit ourselves to Krishna. It's difficult. 100% surrender is very difficult because we're not convinced completely. So that was one level. One level, it is a conversation between Arjuna and Krishna succeed in persuading Arjuna to act the way he wanted him to act. At another level, we can look that it is a conversation that is unsuccessful. So first one was successful. Unsuccessful in a sense, you can say, Krishna and Arjuna are speaking, same time, repeating, or you can say Sanjaya repeated, exactly same time. Every word Krishna is speaking, Sanjaya is seeing it in his heart by the grace of Vyasdev, and he was repeating to Dhritarashtra. So at another level, it is a conversation between, Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra. So in one sense, Sanjay actually failed, unsuccessful. Dhritarashtra's heart did not change. But the message of Bhagavad Gita is so glorious that just by repeating that message, Sanjaya was overwhelmed with ecstasy. He was crying. He was appreciating Krishna's preeminent, lovable manifestation, how he loves Arjuna and he loves all souls. So in one sense, Sanjaya failed with Dhritarashtra, who was listening, did not change anything. His heart did not change. He did not express anything gratitude or submission to Krishna, but it affected Sanjaya. And Sanjaya did say, every moment I'm ecstatic. If you look at it, 18 chapter 76 verse, this is what Sanjaya repeated. Rishayami cha puna puna. Rishayami cha puna puna. I'm remembering the message. I'm feeling thrilled. Then he says, I'm remembering that magnificent form that Krishna showed. I'm also feeling thrilled by that. So at that level, Sanjay is successful because he has become Krishna conscious. He has become filled with ecstasy. So when we preach, when we distribute book, if people take, that is wonderful. But even if they don't take it, if we repeat Krishna's message, we actually become uplifted. We become enlivened. But at the same time, if people didn't take, we also feel it was unsuccessful because that soul will be deprived and suffer in the material world. So Bhagavad Gita are spoken in a, or you can say, see in a 3 level. Successful, unsuccessful, and successful. So today's discussion on the chapter 9, it's very important that first question Arjuna had, for attaining the supreme result that you have mentioned, what is the easiest process? And Krishna says the most confidential knowledge in both its intellectual and experiential dimension. And Krishna says, I shall impart to you, because you are non-envious. Understanding this knowledge, you will be delivered from inauspiciousness. So if I was looking at Prabhupada's commentary that, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also commentary, that when we say, I don't remember, I heard many things from Bhagavad Gita, or many things we don't apply, we don't see it's relevant at this moment. Why is this? Well, Prabhus and mothers, to be honestly, I do have some enviousness. And in the first sloka, that's what Krishna reveals. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes the 10 key points how we can check whether we have some enviousness towards Krishna. Otherwise, nothing should block us to understand Bhagavad Gita and surrender ourselves. So first thing Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that if I see I don't want to make offense to any sadhus, if I constantly think like this, I don't want to commit offense. So that's very good. So that's one. Second is, we don't give any other god priority more than Krishna. Because Krishna is the root cause. Even if you say Shiva, even if you say anybody, even when we talk about our Guru, it is Krishna who sent his representative. So when we respect Guru, we should always think that this pranam or our obeisances is going all the way to Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, like this. Otherwise, so many people has their own guru, like Sai Baba or this, that. They can say, well, Guru is everything. No, Guru is not everything. Krishna is everything. Guru is direct representative of Krishna. So like this, there are 10 key points that we can check. And it will be nice, at least once in a while, to have a check our heart, where our heart is, whether we still maintain enviousness or not. So then, so the bottom line is number one, that Krishna says, because you are non-envious, you will understand this auspicious knowledge. So then Arjuna asked question, why is this knowledge so special? So Krishna revealed, it is the king of knowledge. Rajavidya rajaguyam pavitramidam uttamam. Prataksha abhagamam dharmam susukam kartamam vayam. It is the king of knowledge. It is the king of all secret. And it is the best purifier. It is directly realized through personal experience and joyfully practicable and imperishable. And it's righteous. So Krishna gave every word is very intriguing. It should attract our heart. Then Arjuna asked the question again. Okay, this is such a great secret, confidential, most purifying knowledge. Why non-enviousness important? If you look at the third verse on this 9th chapter, Arjuna repeated this first question, repeated again, why non-envious important? Then Krishna really hammered it. He says, envious are faithless. Oh, how do I know I have a faith or not? See if I don't have those 10 envy. And those who refuse to have faith in this knowledge cannot attain me, Krishna says. And they will be forced to take birth in this material world again and again and again. It will take a long journey. So what is this knowledge that you are willing to impart? Arjuna's question. Then Krishna reveals, I'm just putting into dialogue form. It is the knowledge about my mysterious relationship with this world. The whole universe pervaded by me in my unmanifested form. All beings abide in me, yet I do not abide in them. Arjuna asked, what is this mysterious about this relationship? And Krishna answered, Lord answered, because simultaneously all beings don't abide in me, though they rest in me, they don't burden me. Behold my mystic opulence. Pashyame jogam aishwaram. Although all beings are sustained by me and are contained within me, I'm not contained in them. I exist beyond them as their source. Then Arjuna asked, can you explain a little more with an example? Sometimes we think like we don't understand. Well, Arjuna is also asking to understand it more clearly. And Krishna very kindly explained this, that you can contemplate, Arjuna, as the mighty wind while going here, there, everywhere, Still, it cannot go beyond the sky. So all the living entity, whatever they want to do, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to be next president, I want to, whatever people has desire. They may think they are freely moving here, there. But actually, they are all under cover of Krishna's birth, death, old age, disease. They don't have any separate. They don't have a free choice to be out of it. When living entity acts according to their free will, then Arjuna asks, how do they abide within you? Krishna explained. They are constrained within the boundaries of time. Prabhus and mothers, there was a time you didn't exist in this body. And there will be a time you will not exist in this body. So Krishna controls. You do not have a choice when time of death comes. Then Arjuna asks a very fascinating question. Aren't this birth and death or manifestation, unmanifestation, just the work of the nature? Your nature, Maya is doing it? Krishna says very straightforward, boldly, nature belongs to me, Arjuna. And nature is acting according to my order. I send forth the entire multitude of being again and again while going through this cycle, manifest and unmanifest state. All living entities are powerless, being under the power of material nature. Arjuna, on behalf of us, inquired, okay, all living entities in this world are suffering. Aren't you implicated by karma then? Because you are behind all this. Krishna straightforward says, these actions never bind me. Navam karma nilippanti na me karma phale spriha. Arjuna, because I am seated as if neutral. I am unattached to these actions. I don't cause the suffering of living being. It is the result of their own past karma. Then Arjuna asked, if you are neutral, what is your role in the working of material nature then? Krishna says, I am the overseer. Under my supervision, material nature gives rise to all being, moving and non-moving, with its rules. Arjuna, the whole universe revolves. All living beings function within the boundaries of material nature and are held accountable by its laws of karma. Arjuna repeated, when you are overseer of the material nature, why doesn't everyone understand your divine position? Why everybody not looking for you? Then Krishna answered, because some people are deluded and they deride. And some people deride me when I manifest in a human form, like ordinary. They don't know my higher nature as the Supreme Lord of that exist. So Arjuna asked, what is their fate? Krishna replied, their hopes, their actions, their knowledge are all futile because their consciousness is misdirected. They end up abiding in fiendish and demoniac natures. Then Arjuna asked again, what are the characteristics of those who do not understand your divine position? Lord replied, they are great souls. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. They abide in my divine nature and worship me single-mindedly, knowing me as the imperishable source of all beings. Arjuna asked, what external characteristic can such great soul be known? How would you recognize? How would I recognize? Or how anybody would recognize? Krishna says, they glorify me. They glorify me constantly, not only once a week, Sunday feast or Sunday church. They glorify me constantly, every day, endeavoring with firm vows. They honor me with devotion and staying ever steadfast in worshipping me. Then Arjuna grasped it and he went little deeper. Okay, out of these two extremes of those who deride you as an ordinary human being and those who adore you, are there any other categories beside these two groups? Then Krishna says, yes. Text 15. Ekattena pritakattena bahuda vishyata mukham. They are those who try to gain knowledge by performing sacrifice. They arrive at three conceptions of the divine as the oneness of all existence, multiplicity of deities. Especially we can see Hindus, few groups like that. And as they all pervasive universal from like impersonalist. So then Arjuna asks, what is the lacking if sacrifice led to the conception of the divine as oneness? Is there any lacking? Krishna answered, those who perform such sacrifice don't know that oneness that underlies and unites all aspects of the sacrificial ceremony is me. I am the ritual. And I am the sacrifice. I am the offering. I am the healing herbs. I am the sacred chant. I am the clarified butter. I am the fire. I am the pouring out of the oblation. So Arjuna was very curious. And Arjuna asked, does your unifying oneness extend beyond the sacrificial ceremony? Then Krishna answered, it extends to the entirety of existence. I am the father of the universe, the mother, the maintainer, and the grandfather. I am both the object of knowledge and the means to knowledge, which includes any purifying agent. The sacred syllable Om, the Rik, Sama, Jojur, Vedas, like that. So then Arjuna curiously asked, what other way are you the oneness that unifies existence? Then Krishna says, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshinivas Sharanam Shurit Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidanam Bijam Abhaya. I am the goal, sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, the most dear friend. Indeed, I am the creation, annihilation, the founder, the foundation, the treasure house, and the imperishable seeds. So Arjuna inquired further, how do you sustain existence? How can we see? Prabhu's and mother, when you put on the air condition, what do you think? Are you thinking of Krishna? Krishna claim here. You look at the text 19. I give heat. I withhold, send forth the rain. I'm death, immortality as well. I am the ultimate cause of enduring spirit and ephemeral matter. So that's we discussed last week. And then we had a few more questions. What is lacking if those who perform sacrifice end up conceiving divine as the multiplicity of deities? Krishna answered, they don't know that it is me whom they are worshipping when they are appeasing various deities. When they study the Vedas, drink the Soma juice, become cleansed of sin, perform sacrifice to the gods, seek heaven as their goal, attain purity, reach the world of Indra, and enjoy celestial God-like pleasures. So then Arjuna asks, what's wrong with such an attainment? Is there anything wrong? Then Krishna says, yes, it is temporary. Though they enjoy huge pleasure in heaven or a rich family, you can say in this world, rich people, they think, or everybody else trying to be rich and enjoy more, same category. It is temporary, and the problem is they will fall back to earth once their pious credit are exhausted. Those who follow the three Vedas desire to fulfill their desires, stay in the state of going and coming. Prabhus and mothers, how many of you know when they fall from heaven, where they go? Very few souls come back as a human. Sometimes their depression is so bad because falling from heaven is the worst depression they could experience, because they are forced to get out when time is exhausted. And they break out from their soulmate, so-called artificial soulmate. And they are so depressed that their body is eaten by the global worm outside the exit door of heaven. They are not even aware. So what happened to them? They go take birth as aquatic, because they fall from the rain, with the rain, from heaven through the sky, then starts from again covering consciousness like a little plant or maybe some underwater creatures. And then again, slowly, after millions and millions of birth, they come back to human. Prabhus and mothers, we all went through too. We may not remember. I hope we don't fall back. We want to go straight out from this material world. I mean, I didn't go. That's why I'm here. So Krishna says to Arjuna's question, because it is temporary and it's addiction. I hope you all understand addiction. Addiction is more than compelling, maybe impelling began. Oh, I like little coffee. Then this Mataji said, oh, without coffee, I cannot even do anything in the morning. I have to have one cup of coffee. They are weakness of the heart. We have, those are little stuff can really mess up our life. And this is very important. So Krishna says these are temporary, but it is addictive. Means they will keep on perpetually going. Birth, death, old age, disease. Arjuna asked very nice question. What is lacking if those who perform sacrifice end up conceiving the divine as the multiplicity of deities? Krishna says they don't know that all these deities that they worship are meant to bring to Krishna, but they don't. People argue. Like a few days before, we went to one program and we're distributing books. One couple says, we are Jehovah Witness. I said, Jehovah or is ultimately is the same God we are worshipping? He said, no, we are not. It was interesting. Practically, I noticed that. So then Arjuna asks, how can they attain something more enduring? Then Krishna revealed the secret by worshipping me. By worshipping me, for those who keep their thoughts on me without deviating, and those who serve me without wavering, I become the provider of those what they lacking, and I protect what they have. And then legitimate question, what we are starting today. When you are the source of everything, my Lord, including all the goals, is their worship entirely disconnected from you? Krishna answered, people who faithfully worship the gods also worship me. Arjuna. But they do so in ignorance. So then question is, what they are ignorant of? Then Krishna will reveal, this is what we are going to read today, that they do not know my supreme position. I am undoubtedly the enjoyer and master of all sacrifice. Those who don't recognize me in truth will fall down again to this world. So with that note, let us begin text 23. Anyone from the audience would like to read?
Can I read?
Yes.
23, reading translation and purport.
Sloko, then translation, then purport.
Okay. Yepi anya devta bhakta yajante shraddhaya anvitah tepi mam eva konteya yajanti avedhi purvakam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. Purport: persons who are engaged in the worship of demigods are not very intelligent, although such worship is done to me indirectly. Krishna says, for example, when a man pours water on the leaves and branches of a tree without pouring water on the root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulative principles. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated here as avidhi purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods.
Yeah. That's what it means. Jayapiyanna devata bhakta. Those who are devotees of other devatas. What happens to them? That's the question you can ask. Then Krishna answered, Jajante Sraddhayanvita. They worship faithfully, Sraddhayanvita. Teopi mam eva kunteya, O kunteya, son of Kunti, or Arjuna. They are also Jajante mam only. But it is abhidhi purvakam. It is temporary and it is wrong way. It is not proper. Krishna is clearly differentiating mam and anna devata. Even though everything is Krishna in one sense, but Krishna is very specific in this verse. He says mam and anna devata, other god. Jajante Shraddhayanvita. They worship with Shraddha, with faith. Shraddhayanvita is identical with the word 7 chapter 20 and 23. Krishna talked about demigod worship. Krishna says, I who give faith by which they will become elevated. We have discussed a prince has gone from kingdom and king wanted to get back to him, and he sent his minister, get them at least in the kingdom. The prince is working with minister. So abhidhi purvakam means a prince need not have to work with minister. He can be with father and happily and lovingly serve the father. That would be far better, but unfortunately people do not do that. I'm sure some of you will agree with me. There are many Gita commentators who translate this verse, just this verse that we are reading, 23. And some popular Hindu website also I saw. This verse is translated, and last part, Avidhi Purvakam, remove entirely. So what they put in this, who worship other God, also worship me. This is called misrepresentation of Gita's message. I'm serious, Prabhus and mothers. This is what people do. They twist Krishna's word. This is a graphic example because it is correct what they are saying, but it is not complete. It is so viciously misleading that the most essential thrust of this verse is lost. Yes, they also worship me. Teopi mam eva kunteya. They also worship me, certainly. Krishna said that too. But how jajanti abhidhi purvakam? They worship me Abhidi. What is the emphasis? That they worship me Abhidi Purvakam. To understand that, we have to look at the context. Many people is having idea that don't create conflict between people. Just assume that all God is one. Whichever God you are worshipping same absolute truth ultimately. Well, we may want to believe certain things out of sentiment, but is it a reality? Is worshiping any God is same as worshipping Krishna? If you look at Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, it does not say that. Bhagavad Gita takes about Anna Devata and Mam. Mam is Krishna, means me, Krishna is saying. Anna Devata means beside him, there are others. Krishna has talked about this earlier also. He has talked about how those who worship devatas are less intelligent. Alpa medhasha. Medha means intelligent. Alpa means very little. He says they do not go back to liberation. They stay in the material world. They go to demigod's place, heaven. It is not that they all reach the same destination. So both are important, but relatively, Avidhi Purvakam is what Krishna is stressing. And how we understand? Let us look at this verse. I'm going to look at Prabhupada's purport first. Mother just read. The officers and directors are engaged as representative of the government. And to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated as Avidhi Purvakam. So, is it legal? Is it illegal? Demigod worship is given in Vedas only. It is part of Vedic culture. So it is definitely legal. So why it should be compared to something illegal like bribing? Point which Srila Prabhupada is making is how it is improper. Demigod worship is not illegal from Vedic culture point of view. It is also part of Vedic culture. Vedic culture has multi-level version. Those who has a lower modes, their corresponding form of worship which will attract them and elevate them gradually. But ultimately, goal of Vedic worship is to take person to the level of transcendence. And transcendence, person will serve God with pure love. And he has no other desire. So Avidhi Purvakam, which Srila Prabhupada mentioned, is from the perspective of ultimate goal. Even Krishna has said in 1866, Sarva Dharman Pariteja Mamekam Saranam Braja. So Krishna not only is giving various dharma which comprise the Vedic culture, but then he is telling, focus on me. Mam ekam sharanam braja. Prabhus and mothers, I'm sure you all know that verse, 1866. Krishna says, remember me alone. Surrender to me alone. Nobody else you need to surrender. Subhavaraktas jugupshitam. Vyasdev is chastised mildly by Narad Muni when he said that Subhavaraktas, people are by nature materialistic. And you have sanctioned their materialism in the name of religion. It's interesting. The result of that will be people will continue to materialism and think that they are doing it according to your will, in your name. They will not get elevated. Jugupshitam means abominable, regrettable. It is very strong word to use. For a guru to chastise a disciple as exalted as a Vyasdev. So the point is, there is a Vedic progressive perspective which says demigod worship is good, but from transcendental perspective, anything short of or less than devotional service is cheating. Kaitava dharma. Cheating dharma as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is emphasized in this verse also. And Srila Prabhupada's explanation of Avidhi Purvakam. Okay, we have 5 minutes. Should we go to the next one? Why not? We can read. Anyone else would like to read? Someone new?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Text 24.
Bhagavad Gita 9:24, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, duty. Then 9:24. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijanati tatvantas chaitite. Translation and purport based divine blessings of the Vedanta from Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Purport. Here it is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performance recommended in the Vedic literatures, but actually all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yajna means Vishnu. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should only work for satisfying Yajna or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization, known as Varnashrama Dharma, is specifically meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in the verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices, because I am the Supreme Master. Less intelligent persons, however, without knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired results. Thank you.
Very good. This is one of the famous verse about Krishna's declaration. Many people can read Veda, and they do, but they never come to this conclusion. Who Krishna is, what is his identity. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna boldly declared. That's why Bhagavad Gita is so important. Ahami sarva jagyanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Krishna is telling of all the jagna, I am the Prabhu, master, I am the enjoyer. Natumam abhijananti. Those who do not understand this, tattena, in reality, in truth, ataha, therefore, chabbanti, fall down. Who? They. Chabbanti, they. So those who do not understand me properly in truth, they will fall down. What is fall down means? Fall down means birth, death, old age, and disease in this cycle of birth, death. Billions, unlimited souls are going every day, take birth, death. Not all are human, mostly are smaller creatures. So Krishna says, those who do not understand me properly in truth, they will go in this cycle called fall down. So 2021, previous to this, 2021, Krishna says, those who worship demigod will get pious and go to heaven. And through karma kanda, they will fall back when piety is over. Now, 22nd, he says, those who worship me, I'll protect them forever. 23rd, he says, those who worshipping other god are also worshipping me, but in a wrong way. Avidhi Purvakam. So what is the result of worshipping other gods? Krishna is telling general principle in this verse. So actually, he has told in 23rd, if you compare, that those who are worshipping the other gods are also worshipping him, but improperly. He has already told that the result of worshipping other gods and worshipping him are not the same. So why it is not the same? That is because of ignorance. Because they do not know about Krishna's transcendental position. If we do not know Krishna's position, if we do not love Krishna, then we cannot return back to Krishna. Because that is not what we are seeking or desiring. We will get ultimately what we desire, Prabhus and mothers. Of course, what we deserve also, not only desire, what we deserve. But our desire are important. So Krishna is telling a general principle that anyone who do not know his position will not get ultimate result. He will not intervene in their life because that is not what they want. So if we see emphasis on Avidhi Purvakam in previous verse, why? Because Krishna is saying that is the reason they are not getting eternal result, which is available for those who worship him. So here Krishna is saying he is Bhokta and Prabhu. Now Krishna has talked about the same in another context in 529. Bhoktaram Jaggata Apasam 529. So Krishna is saying ignorance of his position. He's saying his position is not some generic all-pervading, which is accommodating all demigods. No, he's saying, I have to understand as enjoyer, the master. Those who don't understand me in that way, they will fall down. Krishna is saying, Tattena, as he has also used Tatta in 4.9. We hear about Krishna Katha, Krishna Lila. But he says, Janma karma chame dibbam evam jo beti tattata. So we have to understand in truth that Krishna is the enjoyer, the master. They do not understand, they will fall down. What is big deal about this tattva? We have to understand Krishna in truth. Then we can return back to him. That's why Srila Prabhupada quotes from 3.9 in Bhagavad Gita. Jagyarthat karmano annatra. Ultimately, all work is for the sake of jagna. Otherwise, lokayam karma bandhana. It will cause bondage. Similarly, tattena taschabantite. One will fall back. Falling back is already talked in 21 verse. What is falling back? That one may be elevated to heaven. But from heaven, one will be back because of punna getting exhausted. I don't know how many of you really can see yourself that you have those impressions to enjoy little this, little that, in a particular way. I wish I could enjoy this more, little. Because these are impressions. We traveled, Prabhus and mothers. We travel heaven, so many planets. And if we remember all this, if we remember every disappointment, then we'll be running away from the reality, will try to run Krishna out of fear. Krishna doesn't want that. Krishna wants us to come on our own choice, on our own pace. So the point may come up, so actually what will happen to those who worship the demigod? Krishna is saying they will fall back. So what is the use of worshipping the demigod? What is the difference from worshipping Krishna? So Krishna will give summary verse, which is one of the most quoted in Srila Prabhupada. This is very important. This is wonderful. So we'll read that next verse next week. Any contemplation or further discussion or clarification? 6.
Prabhuji, I have a question. If you
Yes, Prabhu.
you mentioned about those 3 levels to start with, and I understood 2 of them. What was the third one?
3 level.
The successful, unsuccessful, and then the last one was like, the first dialogue between Krishna and Arjun, which was successful. Then the one with Sanjay and Dhutras was not. You said 3 levels, right?
Oh, you mean, I see, in the dialogue format.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Conversation Krishna and Arjuna successful, that one.
Yes, and the second one was between
Sanjaya and
Sanjay and
Dhritarashtra
Dhutras.
unsuccessful.
Yes, and what was the third one? That was I
Third
was
one,
missing.
Sanjay convinced whatever Krishna says, that message he convinced to us through
I see.
the Dhritarashtra, right?
I see. So it is Sanjay who was
First one,
convinced, like.
oh, I see. The first one was 3 level.
Mhm.
First one was conversation. I mean, it's all conversation, first of all.
Right.
Mhm.
So one level, the conversation that is successful, you can say Krishna and Arjuna.
Right.
What Krishna wanted, ultimately Arjuna submitted. Not by force, but by conversation.
Right.
Grasping voluntarily Arjuna. He says, Nastu moha smriti labdha tat prasadatmaya. Stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. The second, between Sanjay and Dhritarashtra. So, second level, you can say, conversation between Sanjay and Dhritarashtra, but it failed. First one was conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, but Krishna succeeded. And the third level, where we come, we can relate to Sanjaya. Sanjay personally explaining 1876, the Rishayamicha Puna Puna. I am overwhelmed. I became Krishna conscious. So we have to
Okay, so
ask
that was.
ourselves,
Yeah.
we have to
I
ask
got it.
ourselves whether we are what level? Is it successful or unsuccessful? So that is a third level in a sense. It's related to us.
Correct. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very well.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Dandavat pranam. Sushil.
Prabhuji, one quick, it just popped up in one of the class you mentioned that from here, being here, we can talk to Krishna, be in transcendental world once we get to know Krishna and think about him, all the details that you gave. Being here but the state of mind can be transcendental once we get to that consciousness, right? Similarly, if I'm not in that transcendental world, and if I'm having this sukha and dukkha, right, happiness and distress, can I relate that happiness and distress to something like swarga and naraka, like
You can expand that, sure.
okay,
Ultimately,
because if I don't,
even
yes,
if
please, Prabhu.
when you say sarga, there are 3 types of sarga. There are 28 types of Naraka. Sarga heaven, one heaven in Indra's place, one heaven in under, subterranean. Another heaven is here in middle planetary system. Beside this planet, there are 8 other. These are all Sarga also. But even in this planet, there are some rich people who enjoy like heavenly. So this is called Bhoma Sarga. So that's one group. And then Narak also, there are many category of Narak. And Narak also within. I mean, even though this is a karma kshetra, this planet, this is the only planet in the entire universe that Brahmaji pays attention. Prabhus and mothers, we did not come here to enjoy or suffer in this planet. We are creating our next destiny. That is the only reason we are here, to be honestly. Brahmaji created all this according to their desire. He filled up every planets with those kind of people. But he doesn't pay full attention to any planets. He pays full attention to right here where we are in this planet. Because here are those who is buying tickets. You know, like a airport. Airport is not a place to sit and enjoy life. Airport is coming and going, coming and going. Immigration check, you know, whatever, what they call baggage check, yeah, ticket check, and then you board your plane and go. Airport is not a place to have fun place, to sit down and talk. I mean, at least that's how I hope nobody goes to airport just to enjoy life. They go to airport just to catch a flight or to receive somebody arrived. Similarly, this planet, we are right here. This planet is only to buy a ticket to get out to another planet. How do you buy a ticket? By your own action. And it's not for the any other animal or anybody, just for the human being. The karma is full-fledged. Full-fledged karma is active to the humans right now. We create our destiny. You can go to Golok Vrindavan forever, happy life, or you can be mean to somebody and go to hell. Just like I mentioned, I mean, it's a fact. When these guys was so angry, I happened to be, you know, pumping also gas in a gas station. And he's telling him over the phone, you go to hell, I want to see you in hell. And I was thinking like, wow, he's speaking in English, he wants to see him in hell. How is going to see him in hell? He has to go to see hell. I mean, he has to go to hell to see that guy is there or not. People don't understand how mistake we do every moment in this. And it's very funny because life is so short. This 100 years, I mean, not everybody even live 100 years. 100 years is so quick. You know, some of the demigod are laughing at us. They think we are stupid. And they are right. Because from their angle, you know, just a few days is our whole life. They say, come on, human being, you can get the highest right now. Go to Golok Vrindavan. They are hankering to come down to take a human birth. In 11th canto, 5th chapter, 36 verse, if you look at it, Kali Sava Jayanti Arja Gunagga Sarabhagina Jatra Sankirtanaiva Sarvas Harthat Avilabbate. The demigods are praying, I wish I could come to this earthly planet. They are praying, but they have an assignment duty. They cannot leave the duty. They are officer of Krishna. but they know the power of this golden age. So some or other we have to force ourselves to become Krishna conscious and bring as many souls possible, because this soul will never get a chance for 4 billion. No, not 4 billion, 8 billion, because night time of Brahma is another 4 billion 300. For 8 billion 640 million. Anybody has any idea what is 8 billion years? You can calculate, but do you know what is 8 billion? We don't even know what 100 years is. We have some experience of few years. Even that is not completely we can remember, just little bit. So we should be very careful. We should take advantage of it. Be very careful, because this itching sensation means sense gratification. One of our acharya says, this itching sensation, a blind man, he gave an analogy. A blind man was trapped in a warehouse where he could get out if he find the door to get out. He can open the doorknob. But some or other, the system is whenever he comes near the door, he has an itching sensation, Instead of looking for the door, he's a blind man, he's going by the knocking the wall. And as soon as he comes near the door, he has an itching sensation, and he like keep on walking, but not touching the door. Where is the door? Because he has to release the itching sensation. That's why Prabhupada said this itching sensation or sense enjoyment, sex, and all this really trap people. This human life is so rare, so precious. Prabhu's and mother, eternally you can be happy. Just if you discipline this one life, whatever time left, then you are free forever. Tolerate. Even somebody say something bad, tolerate. Go within, journey within, chant Hare Krishna, see the Lord's form every day, and associate with the devotees, hear the lecture, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, honor Prasadam, you are out with the highest destination. Mother Sushilpa, I don't know if I answered your question, but I went round.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, it's always a nectar. I don't mind if you go above and beyond. Thank you so much. It's my
Thank you.
pleasure.
I mean, we are excited to go back home. I hope everybody's excited.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you. Charles.
Prabhuji, can I tell you why I'm on this planet?
Yeah, why are you on this planet?
I'm on this planet to love Krishna, be loved by Krishna, to know of Krishna, and to awaken this dormant Krishna consciousness.
You are a very good devotee. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Prabhus and mothers, looking forward to see you next Wednesday. Bhagavad Gita again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pancha kalpatarubhesya kripa sindhubhaivacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Srila Prabhupada